Welcome back to the Silent Coding Journey channel. In previous videos, I focused on the code input process as the main content. Starting today, I plan to change things up. Instead of showing the tedious code typing, I will directly explain the final code. This should help you understand the code better. Let's get started. When you see this static logo, you might think it's just a regular icon. But when I hover my cursor over it, the logo changes its perspective following the mouse movement. When I click on it, the logo enlarges and continues to shift its perspective with the mouse movement. What's the magic behind this? How does it work? Today, we will dive deep into the code behind this dynamic logo, letting you know how to add such captivating effects to your website or app. First, let's analyze the HTML file. In this file, we define a div element with the ID logo. This element contains 5 images. Each img tag represents an image, and they each reference 5 different SVG image files. Each tag has added a draggable parameter, indicating these images cannot be dragged. The content of the CSS file is even simpler. Here, we will only discuss 2 properties, aspect ratio and user select. Aspect ratio is a newer CSS property and might not be supported in some browser versions. It sets the width to height ratio of an element, which here is 1000 to 556. This means the ratio of the element's width to its height will always remain at 1000 to 556. For instance, if the width is 1000 pixels, then the height will be 556 pixels. User select means that the content of this element cannot be selected by the user. It's usually used to prevent users from selecting and copying content. For this JS file, we first define 2 constants. Logo is the HTML element fetched by its ID, and images are all the ng tag elements under the logo element. You can think of it as find an element called logo and then get all its images. Next, we define 2 functions, both related to the body element's data active attribute. GetActive checks if the page is in an active state, like if the mouse is pressed. SetActive2 sets the page to an active state. We then need to create an image animation function called shift. This function is responsible for moving and scaling the images. Given an image, its position, and the direction of movement, it will produce an animated effect. The shift all function then applies this animation to all images. Remember the effect where the logo tracks mouse coordinates? We add a function called shiftLogo here, which uses the mouse's position to calculate the values for rangex and range, and then calls shiftAll to move all the images. If the mouse leaves the page or is released, the resetLogo function brings the logo images back to their original positions. How do we listen to mouse events? On mousMove, when the mouse moves over the window, it calls the shiftLogo function. On mouseLeave, when the mouse exits the document, if the value of data active is not true, it calls the resetLogo function. On mouseDown, when a mouse button is pressed over the window, it sets the data active value to true and calls the shiftLogo function. On mouseUp, when a mouse button is released over the window, it calls the resetLogo function. Finally, when the page finishes loading, we call the resetLogo function to start the animation. That's all for today. After my explanation of the code, do you feel it's been more helpful for your learning? Subscribe to the channel for more valuable content. See you in the next video.